Emily Sipunrang, and I was just wondering, have you had boiled eggs the same way over and over? Like maybe with like salt and pepper? Well, that's how I was eating my eggs, and we both know they're super healthy for you, but eating it the same way, I got sick of it. I was bored of it, it was bland, and I took a break from boiled eggs for quite a while. But I saw an episode of Salt, Acid, Fat, Heat on Netflix, and it was an episode where they make miso eggs. So I decided to try it, and oh my god, it changed up the way I felt about boiled eggs. It made it taste so much better and flavorful that I want to show you how to make it. I love this recipe because you only need like one ingredient, and that is miso. Now you're probably wondering yellow or red miso, because there's quite a bit of different misos out there, but we're gonna actually be trying it with both, and we're gonna compare flavors. Now I've done it with the white miso and it turned out so tasty, but today I also wanna try it with red miso and let you guys know what I think about using red miso. First, we're just going to be placing the eggs in a pot because they are boiled eggs. Now I'm just going to make 6 here, but you could absolutely make more for your family, your significant other, your kids. You can make this in a big batch. We're gonna cover it with water. And now we're gonna bring it to a boil. While we wait for the eggs to cook, we're gonna prepare our ice water bath. Once the water comes to a boil, turn off the stove, cover it, take it off the heat, and set the timer for 8 minutes. It's been 8 minutes. I'm just gonna grab the eggs. I've got my ice water bath ready to go. Let's take it right out so it stops the cooking process. The eggs are cooled off, and now we're gonna peel them. It's always nice when you can get under that membrane and have a nice clean peel. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. We got one down, 5 more to go. On one of them, I actually wanted to show you guys how yellow the inside is. Like you want that bright yellow, and that 8 minutes off the heat after it boils is perfect. So I've dried the eggs off with a paper towel just so the miso can be absorbed a little bit better. So you're just gonna spread miso onto your hand. You're gonna put the boiled egg on top, and you're just going to wrap the whole thing in the miso. There we go. So you see, no whites, it's all covered up. We're gonna place it in the bowl. You could absolutely reuse the miso for other things, so you won't be wasting it. Okay, so I have another one here. I'm gonna make a pancake. If you're doing a big batch of this, you might need quite a bit of miso. So if you've never tasted miso, miso is very salty alone, but what's so great is that the egg white here is super permeable, and all of that miso love is gonna get right into it. So all I'm doing is just encasing the whole egg. Oops. So if you see a little gap here, you can always place a little more on top. Okay, that's number 2. Now we're gonna move on to wrapping the egg in white miso. So I actually have some white miso that I've already used from the last batch of miso eggs, and now I'm actually gonna be reusing it again. I'm just gonna scoop it out with my hand, place it on there. Now this one got a little more liquidy because probably of the liquid that came out of the previous boiled eggs, but we're still gonna try to get it completely covered. So the difference between red and white miso is The red miso is a lot more salty than the mellow white, as they call it. Now we're just going to place it. So it looks like there's a couple white spots left, so all I'm gonna do is just scoop the rest out with a spoon and cover the rest of it up. We've got the red miso and the white miso. Now all we're gonna do is cover it up. Now you can let these eggs sit in the miso for 4 hours at room temperature, but the weather's a little warm in LA today, so I'm gonna place it in the fridge for 4 hours. So it's been 4 hours and I brought the miso eggs out. So let's start with the red miso egg. I'm just going to take it out and just take the miso off of it. Just like so. So you can see the egg white got brown from the miso. And then I'm gonna take the white miso off here. You wanna try to get off as much as you can. Now we're just going to cut the egg in half. Look at that. All right, so if you compare both, obviously the red miso gave it a darker color. It's more salty. The white mellow one didn't color it as much, I mean barely. Now we're gonna give it a taste. I'm gonna taste the red miso first. Very flavorful. I get a punch of saltiness to it. I think in the show they eat it like with rice. That's why it's so salty. Eating it plain just like that, to me, with the red miso, it's a little salty. So now we're gonna try the white miso. After eating that, comparing the white miso to the red miso egg, eating it plain like this as a snack, I prefer the white miso. It's not as salty and it is quite mellow. So I definitely would stick to marinating the egg for 4 hours in white miso instead of red miso. This is just a simple way to bring boiled eggs back to life. It was really easy. All it took was boiling some eggs, wrapping it in miso, setting it and forgetting it for 4 hours, bringing it back out, and now you have just such a perfect meal that's healthy and packed with flavor. I encourage you to try this recipe. You will not be disappointed. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below, and remember to click subscribe.